welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Muyulu and I feel about growth, career, lifestyle, relationships, business, faith, and everything valuable, right? Yeah. So if you are new here, you are super welcome. You're welcome. Just hit that subscribe button now to join this amazing, great family. And if you've been a part of Learn with Moyinsi, you know I always tell you I love you so much and there is nothing you can do about it. So I want to ask, how are you? So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing an experience I had last year, like 2021, on LinkedIn. It's one that I cannot just forget in a jiffy, and that's why I've decided to just share with you so you won't make the same mistake, right? So let's just get straight into it. So on a fateful day, I was strolling through LinkedIn and I saw a message in my inbox. Upon clicking on it, I saw a message from someone. So let's assume the person's name is Paul. So I got a message from Mr. Paul, right? Saying, hi, Ibiyemi, I checked through your profile. I saw that you have skills around social media management, virtual assistant, this and that. And I have an opening currently that I would love that you fill in if you're available. So I checked through his profile, right? And I discovered that he's a recruiter somewhere in the United States. So, I mean, it looks like every other normal person on LinkedIn. So I believe that at that time I was actually in school, but we're just receiving lectures. So I had some spare time on my hand and I wasn't too occupied with work at the moment. So I felt like, okay, this is something I can do, right? So I reached out and I said, oh, thank you for reaching out. I don't mind, let me know what the job entails, right? So I gave him that response. So he sent the response that the job is a virtual assistant job that requires me to do things around social media management and basically all the skills that I listed in my profile, right? Yeah. So I said, all right, no problem, I'm interested. So afterwards, he asked for my email address and I sent it to him. So he shared a file with me, right? So he sent me this file and I checked through everything, I checked through and I'm like, oh wow, the pay is actually very encouraging, but it was a two-way thing because I felt like, what exactly will this work entail that will make the pay this much? I mean, ranging between $900 and about $1,200. I'm like, okay, let's see. So after checking through the documents, I responded, okay, I've seen it, I've gone through it, and he said, yes, the employer will message me and pick it up from there, right? So I'm like, okay, I expected the message from the employer. Truthfully, the employer messaged me, right? And then I got a message, hi, this and that, on Slack. Yes, so I automatically was added to a Slack channel and I got a message from an employer, right? So I checked through the details of the Slack channel. There were about 4 people on the entire Slack channel. That's the general group. So I was added to another group with just one person. That is supposedly the employer or the team lead I'm supposed to work with. So he asked me a few questions. What have I done? This and that. And I'm like, I've done things around social media management. I have idea around digital marketing, And I was like, okay, since I have the work document, it's just going to tell me basically what I need to do to begin the work. So I said, okay, as a good girl that I am, right? Someone that likes work. Anyway, so I said, okay, and then waited for the next message. So I got a message, I'm not even sure whether a mail or a message now, asking me to do a couple of things listed in the steps. So I was asked to open a Microsoft Azure account, right? I had never used Microsoft Azure before that time, like prior that time. I never used it. In fact, that was like my first time hearing about that. So I was asked to do that, right? And I just felt like it wouldn't make sense for me to say I don't know how to. I jumped to YouTube, quickly typed how to do this, how to do that. And I began watching videos how to open a Microsoft Azure account, this and that. So one thing was, after opening the account, it was stated there that once I open the account, I should send the login details, right? Yeah. So another instruction was to send in the login details of my Gmail account. So I was going to send my Gmail address and the password, right? And that was, I felt like something was fishy at that point because why send my Gmail address and password to them? again, I played along, and not like I knew what was happening, so don't let me say I played along. I actually continued. So I opened the Microsoft Azure account. I was asked to open another account. I can't remember specifically the name now, but it's also a cloud computing based account. So I did as well, and I was also asked to send in the login details. Now at that point I asked, okay, what's the name of the company exactly, and what would I be doing, right? I was given a brief of the company and the name, right? And at that point I just typed it to Google to know what they have done and make my personal research. So I typed it in and I discovered that they have a couple of like Facebook accounts already and Instagram accounts. So I sent a message back to them that, oh, I discovered that you have a couple of Facebook and Instagram accounts already. So can you send the login details so that I can know which one I'm going to work with and how to continue work around that, right? And then I got a response like, oh no, you're going to open new account because we are starting new operations in another region and we want you to actually undo that. And I'm like, all right, let's see how it goes. So I was asked to open another Facebook page, another Instagram page, but at that point I felt like, would I open it from my page, or why not open it from your end and send me the login details? So I questioned that and I'm like, okay, can you please open the page from your end and just send me the login details? So I would log in on Instagram from here and you just add me to your Facebook page from here, and that way I'll just do it instead of having your login details with me. So again, the employer was like, no, just do that. It was all chat actually. So it was like, just do that. Just make sure you're sending all login details and passwords to us as you're doing it. Okay. So I opened the Microsoft Azure account and sent it to them. I opened the other account as well and I sent it to them. And I did something very silly. Yes, silly, because I don't even know what entered into me. Anyway, I sent my Gmail address to them and the password, right? Yeah, so at that point, meanwhile, don't judge me yet. Meanwhile, I was carrying my friend along. Okay, I got this, I did this, I was asked to do this, I'm doing this right now. So my friend's like, can you be calm? Like, just calm down. Take it easy, don't be too anxious about this job. And I'm like, don't you get it? $1,200. I love money. Anyway, so I'm like, $1,200 is no joke, man. What if they have other people that they are also recruiting and I just miss it? So let me act fast, right? So that was my push actually to doing all of those. So after sending my Gmail address and the login, something just touched my brain like, are you normal? Like, what did you just do? What just happened? And I actually know that it's the Spirit of the Lord that must have helped me, because personally, I would not have felt that way, That way you just got a job and you are just wanting to be prompt and just, prim and proper. I would not have thought about that, like what I have done, if not for God, right? And it just struck my mind, like, just change that password right now. So I sent it to them, but immediately, like a twinkling of an eye, I changed my password. Now, upon changing my Gmail account password, I got a message from them immediately like, hi, the password is actually I'm not able to log into the password. So I'm like, you're not able to what? He said, yes, I'm not able to log in. It's saying incorrect password. I'm like, no, I've been using that password for years and there's nothing wrong. He said, oh, but it's not going through for my end. I said, okay, use caps lock for the password. I can't remember what the password was. I think it was my name or something. So I said, okay, use caps lock. He tried it. He said, it's still not working. I said, put number 1 behind. He said, still not working. I said, those are the only things I know around my password. There's no other thing. I've never changed my password in the past 1 year or so it's still the same thing. So it was like, it's not working, he's not able to log in. Okay, should I do something? I said, what? He said, okay, I should change the password right now and send him the login. So at that point I asked, I said, why does he need my Gmail account login details? And what does he want to do? I'll do it from my end. Right? So he said he wanted to help me set up something within my Microsoft Azure account. So he was going to link my Gmail to the Microsoft Azure. So I was opening my Microsoft Azure account from my end, and he was like, you need to configure something for me. And I was naive, right? I had not used that before. So he was like, he wants to configure something for me, and I'm like, okay, no problem. But I was not willing, and I was not going to give him that login. So at that point, at that point, I gave him another login. Yes, I gave him another login, and that login I gave him was just like another password that was not what I was currently using. So I didn't give him the current password because my friend had warned me not to try it. So I was asked to open another account again. I opened and I sent the login details, right? So it would say he's configuring something, but he's having issues and setback because he's not able to log into my Gmail account. So at that point, I asked him a question like, is there no other means? I mean, is there nothing else I can do aside from using my Gmail account? Since it's more of social media management, I don't think I need Azure. Like, I've never used it, right? So he was like, okay, I should give him some minutes. All right, so I remember then I was going to school, and then I met with a couple of people that are around software engineering and tech. I asked them questions. Okay, please, what do you understand around Microsoft Azure as regards this kind of job? So I was showing them. I showed two people specifically, like how do I go about this? So they're like, oh, they don't know how this aspect that I'm talking about works, right? But they would check through and get back to me. And so I'm like, okay. So I was just doing more of researches on Google, just to understand what Azure entails, right, and how to navigate it, right? So I was doing more of that, and long story short, on a fateful day, that was the next day. So all through that day, we were going back and forth. My Gmail login is not going through this and that, and I was just adamant that I wasn't going to send it. Let me see what will happen, right? So I messaged him later in the night. Okay, is there anything for me to do today? He said he will keep trying the login. I should change the password and get back to him again. So I'm like, all right. So I didn't get back again that day. And the second day, I remember going to school. That day was on a Friday. So I was going to school, and then I saw this international number calling me, and I'm like, okay, it could be those people, right? So I felt like they would probably be the one. I mean, who else to expect at that time? So they would be the one. And then I got a call. Hello, is your name Moyelu Mata at BM? And I'm like, yes. Okay, my name is so and so from Microsoft. And I'm like, okay. Alright. So the voice continued to say, hello, this call is encrypted with something for security purposes. We are recording everything and we are actually tracking something, so we need your honest responses. And I'm like, okay. So I stayed aside to just make that call. So I continued on the call, and it was like, so we noticed a couple of traffic and activities on your Microsoft account and on your accounts generally, and we just want to know what's wrong. No worries, no pressures, no struggles. We just want to be sure that we are on the right track, right? So I'm like, all right. So he asked like, I just opened the Microsoft Azure account. I said yes. Okay, I just opened this other account. I said yes. So he asked, why did I open it? I said for work purposes. I want to use it for work. So he was like, okay, which work is that? He said, I just got a job through LinkedIn, right, to work as a virtual assistant to a company. And he was like, all right. So the name of this company is, he mentioned it, and I said, yes, okay. And he was like, all right, so let me explain something to you that you don't know. And I'm like, okay. So he said, you got a message from LinkedIn that your skills match up with what they need, blah, 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 at a company? I said, yes. He said, afterwards, you were sent a document through your Google Mail? I said, yes. Afterwards, you were added to a Slack channel of 4 people? I said, yes. Afterwards, you were asked some questions and sent some messages? I said, yes. Then you were asked to open this account, this account, this account, and send your login details. And I'm like, yes. So at that point, it was like, all right, so just calm down. We are here to help you and have your best interest at heart, right? So the man went on to explain that those people have been doing that same thing with other people, like the same pattern that I've just gone through is what they go through with other people. So they were like, they noticed that I changed my Gmail account, and they are worried to know if I sent the new details to them, because what they want to do is to have access to everything that concerns me online and then hack into all of my accounts, and the rest will just be history, right? And at that point, I was just shaky, I was scared, I was happy, I was everything at the same time. And I'm like, all right, thank you so much. So the man said, what you are expected to do now is to cut off communications with them. Cut off every communication, leave their group, leave them, do not message them. And I think it was that day I really deleted their message on LinkedIn, so that's why I don't have it to show it. If I find it eventually, I might attach it to this video, but I deleted everything, like everything basically, except for this particular document that was sent to my mail that I still have access to. So at that point I was like, oh, so we have scammers on LinkedIn. I thought LinkedIn was a professional platform, like everybody there are good people. Church mind, right? Anyways, that was how I was saved from those scammers. I would have just been hacked into, and maybe today you would not even be seeing me right now, and I would have just started from ground number -0, right? Anyways, that was it for me, and that is just to let you know that there are scammers everywhere, like basically everywhere, on the road, online, on LinkedIn, and wherever you can imagine. So that was it for me, and I'm glad those people came to rescue in time. I mean, Microsoft team, I give it up to them. I'm glad they came to time, and at the same time I was scared because they were tracking everything that was happening to me. They knew the whole process I had gone through. Are we safe? Anyways, in God we should be safe. However, that was how I was saved from those people on LinkedIn, right? But is that to say that LinkedIn is full of scammers? No. After that time, I've gotten jobs on LinkedIn. I've gotten jobs through people on LinkedIn, and I know a couple of people that as well have gotten jobs through LinkedIn. So the only thing is just to be careful, right? Be very, very careful and vigilant. You never can tell. I mean, you don't know who is who. It's online. It's not like you're seeing the person or anything. So, and I believe a lot of people have actually fallen victim of those people, because I saw a couple of Facebook accounts and Instagram accounts. So definitely some people must have opened those accounts, and I don't know what must have happened to them, but I'm glad I was saved. I mean, I am safe now, and I believe that I'm not going to make such mistake or fall into the wrong hands again. And that's just to let you know that whatever you are doing, take at least one person along, because if not for my friend that kept on saying, be calm, do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, don't trust them totally, I don't trust those online people, I don't do this, I don't do that. If you were to be me, oh my God, $1,200. Anyway, so just guys, be careful out there. That's my plea. Just be careful, right? Just be careful. Alright guys, that will be the end of my story today. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for listening. I hope you have been able to pick one or two things from this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and comment below. Let me know what exactly. Just give me all the how. Ooh, sorry. Yeah. I really want to keep it coming. Yeah, so thank you so much. And don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed. Please ensure you subscribe right now, right? And share this video with your friends to make them all aware that there are scammers on LinkedIn as well. Another time on this channel, guys. Don't stop learning, don't stop growing, don't stop living the best life that you can. I love you so much, and I'm rooting for you. Bye.